Hello everyone, that was quite the introduction. I don't know whether the young lady that Michael met that night wasn't available, which is why you called me in today, but thank you very much. So today's a proud day for me because I finally got let into university, which never happened when I was 17 because I was too busy having my first child. So I'm going to tell you who I am, why I'm here, and what my passion and purpose is. So I've also got a notebook because I tend to go off on tangents. So my name is Clare Friel. I'm the founder of a marketing agency called Friel, who are based in Ipswich. I do get nervous at the beginning, but I calm it down in a minute. I also have Women in Construction Anglia, which is a not-for-profit to encourage more females into the industry. And alongside that, I've got a news outlet called Construction Anglia. So when I was at school, I was quite academic. And then when I was 17, I fell pregnant with my daughter. So that was a plot twist that I never expected. And in my head, society, well, the stereotype is that, I don't know if anyone's old enough for Little Britain. Does anyone remember that? Everyone thought it was going to be Vicky Pollard, right? So I thought, I'm not going to get my Kappa tracksuit. I need to prove a point. And in a way, my daughter saved my life because I think at that point I was quite lost, and she gave me purpose. She gave me kind of something to work for. So now she's 22, and we work together full time. So she's just finished her degree, and she is a social media production strategist. I don't know what that means, but she is very, very good at it. So as Michael was saying, my family moved over from Ireland when before I was born. So started life in London, and then they moved up to Ipswich because of BT at Astral Park. So even though I was brought up in England, it was a very Irish upbringing. And I often say to my parents, if you wanted me to be like my cousins, why did you move here? So it was quite hard kind of fitting in because we didn't have a Catholic school in Felixstowe, so I'd have to go to the convent every Saturday. So me telling you about having my daughter as a teenager, you can imagine that went down like a lead balloon. So I'm one of four. I've got two brothers and a sister, and they've all kind of gone on to do great things too. But I think I've waffled because I'm nervous. But I'm going to go back to my book. Michael, I wasn't this nervous last time, was I?
But you weren't getting paid as much.
Oh, God, you didn't tell me about the fee. So, so high school, I went to high school. First 3 years was great. And then I think where I've never really felt like I fitted in. I never felt like I fitted in the business world, and I didn't feel like I fitted in at school. And I think the entrepreneur in me was there from year 9. So at the year 9 disco, I looked a lot older than everyone else. And so everyone got me to go and get the alcohol from the shop. So I walked into the shop, got the goods, got the hooch, the Mad Dog 2020, got to the school gate, and I could see all the teachers were lined up. And I said to my friend, I was like, they know. And she was like, don't be silly, just carry on going. Got in the door, teacher comes over, right, come with me. I was like, please do not ring my parents, they'll kill me. And she was like, we're going to have to ring your parents, tell them to come and get you. This is, obviously, zero alcohol policy at school disco is pretty standard. So at the time, I had my own private phone number in my bedroom. So I was like, oh, Mum and Dad had changed their number, ring this number. Rung it, and I thought, please don't pick up. Anyway, of course, they did pick up. A very cross dad arrived at the school. Got home, got lectured, got taken into town the next day to buy a uniform because apparently that was part of the problem. So I got a skirt, probably actually not dissimilar to this length, but at the time it wasn't cool because you turned your skirt up at the top. So I remember being in town, and by that point I've been working since ages 12 as a waitress on £2 an hour, highly illegal, but at the time it was fine. And actually they took tax off me, and that bugs me to this day where that tax was going. So I was in Alders, or Owen and Owen I think it was at the time, and Mum looked the other way, so I made a run for it. The run was a bit longer than most 14-year-olds, so I managed to run from there to the Abbey National Bank, got all the £400 that I owned out of my account, made a phone call from a payphone at Ipswich train station to Jersey European Airlines, booked myself on a flight from Stansted going that afternoon, managed to get into London out again onto an aeroplane where I was greeted by a policeman who I'd already arranged my lift from the airport to my family because I chatted to someone in the departure lounge, came over and said, "You're not supposed to be here, are you?" I was like, "No, I'm not." Got taken off, and that was kind of, yeah, then I had to move school. I think it was, I was managed out, you'd call it in the business world, and ended up being put into an all-girls private school for 2 years, which was quite the culture shock. But I'm painting a really good picture of myself right now, and my parents were amazing, and this is the thing, like, I came from a good background. My parents are amazing. There's nothing they could have done different. I was just, I don't know, and even to this day, just always wanting more, always kind of fighting for things, always challenging things when sometimes I should shut up. And I think that's what I've kind of brought into the business side of things, like always challenging what the norm is, questioning. We've always done it this way. You're like, yeah, but you do the same thing, you get the same results. Why haven't we looked at it different? Also, like panels, committees, I do a lot in the skills space. So we've got people that have been on these boards for 20, 30 years, and you go in and you say, right, we need to get more young people into the construction industry. Say, well, where are the young people in this room? And then you mention TikTok and you think you'd call them a swear word because, oh God, we can't do that. But it's giving those people the voices to tell, so we can encourage the future generation in. I've also done a lot of work with prisoners recently. And a highlight for me was at another one of the colleges. I got the police crime commissioner. He was sat on the stage with a lady who had been, I did ask her, because I felt a bit rude, what are you, an ex-prisoner, an ex-con, reformed? And she really didn't mind, but she was up there with him, telling him her stories. But so what happened was when she was in prison, she got upskilled to come out and be a bricklayer. So they got skilled in prisons, and then we've helped them to secure a role working in the construction industry after that. So it's those people that are kind of the forgotten people, or the people that weren't meant to do well in life. They're the people that I love championing, pushing forward, looking after, taking under my wing. So I don't know what more you'd like me to say, Michael. He's still awake, which is a good sign. I asked the gentleman at the back just to shout boring if he wanted me to be quiet. Do you want to ask me a few questions?
No, you tell them about your business.
Oh, my business, yeah.
Tell your business.
So, marketing and PR. I've got no qualifications in it, just to reassure you if anyone wanted to use my services. So I started that. It's for the passion of sharing people's stories. So 90% of our work is in the construction sector. Because I should have said so when I left school. You've got me back on track now, Michael, I think, just. When I left school, I went and worked in television production. So I worked on the first series of The Apprentice. Because going back to the Vicky Pollard syndrome, I didn't want to be a statistic, so that was the route that I wanted to go down. So that kind of little bits from all the different jobs I've done kind of fall together under marketing PR. So on the Friel side of things, we do construction, we actually work with the diocese as well. We do a lot of crisis comms. That wasn't meant to directly go after the diocese, but that is one of the services that we offer. 24-hour hotline, that can be interesting. I don't take the phone at weekends, thankfully. So we get a lot of people in the press, a lot of people in the news, and we're working on having a TV show commissioned at the moment. So that is the full service marketing for our social media, but I'm not going to lie, ChatGPT is ruining my life on that front because every client thinks they're a social media expert now. So before you'd send them a piece of text and you'd write it and you'd be engaging with their audience and they'd just sign it off. Now I get replies like, I think it could be punchier, and they'll shove a rocket emoji in there, and you're thinking, I know you've just whacked that through ChatGPT. It's quite insulting to my team. But yeah, so on that side of it, we've got 2 journalists, they're ex-national, now local. They work for Friel, so they are quite good with their connections, getting stories told. And then Construction Anglia, which is a news site for the east of England. Basically, as COVID hit, I was getting annoyed that people weren't publishing the stories about construction, and their paper said it wasn't news. So I set up my own news site. So I think we've now got nearly 10,000 followers on that. And the 2 journalists work on that, so they go out kind of finding stories, but equally that people send them in to us. And then the Women in Construction Anglia, like I've said, that's a not-for-profit. We've just had our first bit of funding through to run a programme for Sizewell C, so that will start in the coming weeks. So we're starting an ambassador programme where we're going into the colleges to train the girls who are on the college courses to go into the high schools to encourage the younger girls to then come and spread the word, and hopefully that will result in getting more women into construction. And that isn't that we don't like men at all, and I always open my talk saying, like, I'm not a man hater, and it's not about women are better than men, even though they are. It is more about that actually if girls can see and have visible role models and see someone that looks like them working in a job, then you're going to attract more females into the industry. So yeah, it isn't. And we always say, well, we never say that men aren't invited to the events. It's just interesting to see that we normally get about 10% male, which is a direct flip of the industry stat, which is 10% female, and they'll go, oh God, this is a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it's normally the other way around. So we're actually making Sophie, my colleague and friend over there, she's been working on Women in Construction Anglia with me, and I think we've had about 1,000 people go through, have encounter engagement, and quite a few people even change careers later in life to join the construction industry. So yes, that is my business. Have I left any of the businesses out, Sophie? Yeah, so I think the key thing for me is just doing everything with good intention, and also not treading on people to get where you need to be. Like, I'm a big advocate for empowering others and knowing that it will all come around eventually. Yeah.